Welcome to Kailul Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org. Baruch Hashem. All right, Parshat Toldos.
Recording in progress.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. That's so nice. Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Rabbi Yehuda. Thank you. All right, so there's so many different things to discuss in this parsha, like all of these parshas. I mean, they're just so filled with beauty of the stories and Orchos HaChayim teaching us how to live our lives and so on. Unbelievable, mamish, unbelievable things. So, let's start from the beginning of the parsha. And I saw something so beautiful for Rav Nosson that really puts a different perspective on who Yitzchok was. And how integral Yitzchok was for all of Klal Yisrael, And let's look into it. Let's see. Ve'ila Toldos-Yitzchok ben Avram. So the parsha starts off with these beautiful words. Eila Toldos-Yitzchok ben Avram. Right? We know that they were mocking and they were making fun and this and that. So the Torah is made. And Avram Avinu was Yitzchak Avinu's father. And you'll see that's so wide that it's so important for this Torah that we're going to learn. Because Yitzchak Avinu was the first child to be born in the world, in the entire world with kedusha, with holiness. Yitzchak was the first one. Look what he says now. Because before Yitzchak Avinu was born, there was no Jew, there was no one born with any sense of holiness. Nothing. Everyone, they were all idol worshippers. They were all doing whatever they were doing. There was no sense of kedusha. There was no kedusha. The kedushas Yisrael is certainly not kedushas Yisrael. Because in the time of the Ched of Adam Arishon, there was no such a thing in the world at all to have a delivery of a baby that was with any sense of kedusha, with any sense of holiness. Karayu, Avraham, until the time that Avraham Avinu came in the world. Avraham Avinu was the first one to bring to the world Kedushas Yisrael. He was the first of all. He was the first of all of the Klal Yisrael to ever to come in to find the Rabbeinu Shalom and to bring kedusha. Aval Avraham Avinu ba'atzmai lo noiled adayim b'kedusha Yisrael. But Avraham Avinu himself, he himself was not born b'kedusha, because who was Avraham Avinu's father? Terach Avi Avraham. Terach. No kedusha. He was not only was he an idol worshiper, he was an idol wholesaler, right? And he was the wholesaler of idols. Unbelievable, right? But Avraham Avinu still, and that's the greatness of Avraham Avinu, that Avraham Avinu, despite the fact that his father was who his father was, he was still able to find the Rabbeinu Shalom and to introduce kedusha into the world. The first one that was born, b'kedushas Yisrael, the first one that was born with full kedusha of Yisrael, Haya Yitzchak Avinu. Why? Because Yitzchak Avinu's father was Avraham, and Avraham Avinu's wife was Sarah Imenu. Oh, Sarah Imenu, Sarah the Tzedekah Sarah. So that was mamash a unity. That was a unity of kedusha. That was a unity where Yitzchak Avinu, when Yitzchak Avinu was born, he was born with a high level of kedusha, because look who his parents were. Unbelievable idea. V'nikra al shem asimcha bechinas tzchoik osa li aleikim. Look at this, unbelievable. There was a big simcha in all of the worlds up on high, all of the worlds, everywhere. Everywhere of creation, there was a big simcha when Yitzchak Avinu was born. Yitzchak Avinu was born to the world. There's a big, big simcha. Let's see why. As it says in the Torah, Tzchoik also li elikim. Hashem made for me a laughter. Tzchoik also li. Hashem made for me a laughter. Elikim, Hashem did this for me. Ki be'emes kol ha-simcha Hashem semeichem al ha-chasna. Hu pelia l'chayra. Because all of the time we go to a wedding, and it's a tremendous mitzvah to go to a wedding, and it's a tremendous mitzvah, it's a mitzvah deraisa to be mesameach, the chosen and kala. We know that. And we go, but the Rebbe says, it's really it's a wonder. He pliya l'chayra. Kasher shamati zois beferes bipiv HaKodesh, as Rabbi Nachman said over to Rabbi Nosson, Shama, she'ena oilam Yidden klal. No one in the world understands this. Mazo simcha shezeh noisezeh. We don't understand what is the real simcha, the essence of the simcha that Pliny is married to Plinus, that this Jew is getting married to this Jewess. Do we really understand that? Do we really understand it? It's not the simcha just because two people are getting married. Not that alone. Ah, look at this. It's bigger than the chasna. The chasna is bigger than the chasna itself, the wedding itself. It's bigger. Why is it bigger? Because it's really a simcha for all of Klal Yisrael. Let's see why. Sheikra simcha de kedusha hu machma she'anu yoidim maminim she'inyan zeh b'shor she'hu gavoya ma'oid ma'oid keyadua. We know that really this idea that there's going to be a wedding, that there's a wedding, and this Jew is marrying this Jewess, and this is something so special, there's something so lofty, very lofty. That from this unity, from this wedding, from this wedding that's taking place at the time, that wedding, there's going to come in Mitz Hashem children from this union, children from the union that'll be Mekadesh the Shem of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, She'ikadshu Shemai, that they will be make a Kiddush Hashem. Achayetzu Tzadikim Gedolim, until some people will give birth in Mitz Hashem to big tzaddikim. Achayave Mashiach Midai Reseinu Sheyesuk Enakol. Until the Mitz Hashem, it's going to be an hour dar. In Mitz Hashem, we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu with our eyes. Be'ezah Hashem, Mashiach Sheyavai Midai Reseinu, from our generations. Sheyesuk Enakol, Mashiach will come and make the final tikkun. The final tikkun. The final tikkun, unbelievable. You know, I was thinking the other day. You know, they're always talking about. Baruch Hashem, I live in the area of Efrat, and they call this the occupied territory. You know, it's over the green line. You know, I really wish we would have a leader that would one time tell the President of the United States, Mr. President, do you know that Manhattan is occupied? Manhattan's occupied. Why? Because you robbed it from the Indians for $22. So, Mr. President, when you'll give the island of Manhattan back to the Indians and return them their $22, they'll give you back $22, and you'll give them back the island. So then you could tell us about occupied territory. And Mr. France, you know that little city of Nice, your beautiful city of Nice, you stole that from the Italians? That was stolen from the Italians? So when are you going to give back the city of Nice to the Italians, Mr. France? When are you going to do that? And you shut them all up, all those jerks, shut them all up just by having a little guts. Mashiach Tzidkenu will just look at them. Mashiach Tzidkenu will just look at them in the eyes, and they'll shut up. And they'll say, we'll know it's true. He'll know it's true. It doesn't have to be complicated. The world makes it complicated. The world makes it so complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. But Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to come. This is the main thing. Mashiach Midaresein Sheyesuk Enakol. Mashiach is going to make a tikkun on everything. Everything will be repaired. Sheze'ika Simchaseinu. That's the main simcha of a chasna. For that, it's worthy for us when we go to a chasna that we should have a big, big, big level of joy at the chasna. And did anyone ever realize that this simcha, this idea started with Yitzchak Avinu? Who would have ever thought that this goes back all the way to Yitzchak Avinu? Because Yitzchak Avinu was the first one to be born in the world with Kedushas Yisrael. Yitzchak Avinu. Val came be'emes Amra Zais Sarah, and therefore Sarah made the statement. What did Sarah Imenu say? Tzchoik asali alikim, kol ha-shemeya Yitzchak li. Tzchoik asali alikim. What does it mean? Tzchoik asali alikim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made to me. Anyone that hears about this, tzchoik li, will laugh with me. Not laugh at me, will laugh with me. Because of the big simcha that Sarah Imenu was able to bring to the world, Yitzchak Avinu. Ki bevadei ata shenoiled Yitzchak oz royu v'shamu hakol niflois Hashem. Everyone heard, everyone knew, they saw the greatness of the wonders of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We know that Sarah Imenu, look how old she was. Sarah Imenu was already way past the menopause, way past everything. Sarah Imenu was able to have a child. Ro v'shamu hakol niflois Hashem. They saw this. There was no such a chiddush in the world ever, that such a lady at that age would be able to give birth. That from the marriage of a man and a lady like this can come to the world such a holy person. That from Yitzchak Avinu is the forefather that came from the bond of Adam of Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imenu. Every child born is a child that's from Yitzchak Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu. Every child. Zeri Yisrael ad sheyavai Mashiach bevadai hu tzchoik v'simcha v'ched v'rabba b'choloi ma'alamis. So that was a great tzchoik. That was a great laughter. That was a great joy. And it was something so special. In all of the worlds, Bechinas Kol HaShemei, Yitzchak li will laugh with me. Ki ma'eloda kedoisha hazois, hiskil shalsheles sheyichos Yisrael. Came the shalsheles. What's a shalsheles? You know, when you have the trup, the shalsheles is 3 times. Right, 3 times. Right? Why 3? The shalsheles, who's the shalsheles? Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. That's the shalsheles. The shalsheles, sheyichos Yisrael. That's our yichus. You know, people say they have a yichus. What's our real yichus? Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And that's why Chazal instituted in our Shemona Esrei. We start the Shemona Esrei every day. Elekei Avram, Elekei Yitzchak, Elekei Yaakov. Why? Because that's our main yichus. That's our main yichus. Ki Avram Avinu ba'atzmai. Ava pishu haya harishan la'avos. Harishan shehiskil legalois. Even though Avraham Avinu was the first one from the Avos, that Avraham Avinu was the first one of the Avos that started to reveal Elikusai Ba'olam, that he showed in the world there's such a thing of Elikus. Avraham Avinu showed it to us, showed the world that. Who Avalu Ba'atzmai Naila de Kedushas Yisrael. But Avraham Avinu, he was not Zaycha to be born the Kedushas Yisrael. His father was Terach. But he toiled and he worked hard with the power, the awesomeness of his avodah. Look at this. Look at these words. Look at these words that Avraham Avinu worked so hard to sanctify himself, to be mekadesh himself. Kol kach ad shezocha, that he merited shemimenu from Avraham Avinu. Yaskil hailodas kedushas Yisrael. That's where the hailod of kedushas Yisrael. That's where the birth of Klal Yisrael came from. Shemiyaz v'halah loy yapasek shalsheles hayichasun Shall Yisrael. From then on, from that time on, there'll never be a break. There'll never be a break in that shalshelis of the yichus of Klal Yisrael. There will never be a break. Shemimenu yeh noiled Yitzchok. Shu arishon shenoiled b'kedusha kazais. Yitzchok Avinu was the first to be born with this kedusha. Remember Yetze Yaakov. And Yitzchak Avinu gave birth to Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Yetzu Kol Zera Yisrael. And we know that from Yaakov came all the Shiftei Kah. And from the Shiftei Kah, the 12 tribes, came all of Klal Yisrael. Ad Asoif, until the end, Ad Sheyavai Mashiach Sheyetze Mizarim. Until Mashiach, which is going to come from their seed. From their seed. Yitzchak, the Mashiach is going to come from their seed. Sheyetze Mizam, Sheyitakein Hakol, V'yigale Lekusei Le'ein Kol. Mashiach is going to come and reveal, without a shadow of a doubt, to everybody, the truth of the oneness of the Rabbeinu Shalom. Shezeh Bechinas Hachut Hamishulash Loi B'meira Yenatek. And this is the chut. This is the chut Hamishulash. This is that triple strand. Shaloi B'meira Yenatek. That'll never ever be disconnected. Ki Ashleisha Avos Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov Hayu Kedoshim Ha'oid. Our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, were so holy. Ad shebikdushas habris, because they were so careful. They were so careful with kedusha bris. What's kedusha bris? They were careful what they saw. They were careful what they did. They were careful with anyone that they were with. Ad shezochu lahamshich ha'ilada shelahem, until they were able to draw that their offspring, B'kedusha kazais ad shelo yipasei kechevel kedushas Yisrael lo'elam. Until that, from that time on, they were so holy. They put so much energy. They put so much effort in to kedusha that it'll never ever cease. It'll never ever cease. The kedushas Yisrael, because of the avos hakadoshim, and perhaps that's the reason why we're always reminding ourselves. Elekei Avram, Elekei Yitzchak, Velekei Yaakov. Ad shal yedei kol ha'ilada shal Yisrael. Until then, through all births of Klal Yisrael, Eich shehu, no matter whatever level they're on, Yeh nimshach b'bechinas tikkun abris. They'll come and there will be a tikkun abris because it came from the avos hakadoshim, and they were metakin their bris, and they were so careful of kedusha. Because Yitzchak Avinu was the first to be Zera Yisrael. Yitzchak was the first to be from part of Kalal Yisrael. Because Yitzchak was the first to be born with Kedusha. Hey, it doesn't make a difference. Zera Yisrael Shemeim Tikkun Kol Elamais. And from there we know it's going to come the Tikkun of all the Elamais. We know that the Gemara discusses the idea. The Gemara discusses this beautiful idea that when at the end of time, there's going to be a lot of problems and a lot of things, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu is going to show Avraham Avinu, hey, listen, you look, your children are making mistakes, and they're doing a lot of averos. So Avraham is going to say, okay, so you have to do Hashem what you have to do for them. And he'll ask Yaakov Avinu, show Yaakov Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu will say also, so nu Hashem, you have to do what you have to do. We understand that they're not doing the right thing. We understand. Hold on, they're just doing some work over here. One moment. One second. But then, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to look at Yitzchak Avinu, and he'll tell Yitzchak Avinu, look at what they're doing, and Yitzchak Avinu will say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu this. This is what the Gemara says. Palga alai v'palga elach. I'll take care on me, Hashem, and you take care on you. Yitzchak Avinu, which is the midah of Gevura. Yitzchak Avinu is the midah of Din. But what's Yitzchak's name? Tzchok, laughter. Yitzchak Avinu is going to tell the Rebbeinu Shalom, I'll take half the blame. Because I'm their I'm their father, I'm their great-grandfather. I'll take half the plate and you take half. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is what Yitzchak, this is Yitzchak Avinu. This is Yitzchak Avinu. That's going to be the tikkun of all the alamas. That's going to be the repair of everything. But we have to understand, where did it begin? It began with Avraham Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu only came about because of Avraham Avinu. Shahayli des Yitzchak. B'kedusha kazais ad sherimenu yaskil shalshelis yayichos. And therefore Yitzchak's name was called Yitzchak, tzchoik, laughter, simcha, chedva. Why? Because of this idea, b'chinas tzchoik asa li elikim, kol ha-shemeya Yitzchak li. Ki hakol royu lahem l'smayach ala elada kazois. Because they all, ki hakol royu lahem. Everyone was very worthy, and we're worthy to be lismaya, to be happy. Because of Yitzchak Avinu, and therefore we'll never call the avos. We'll never call the avos only as a threesome. We'll only call them as a threesome. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Because they are the avos ha'olam. Ki ein avos ligoy. Look at these words. The Gemara says, Ki ein avos ligoy. The Gemara in Brachos says, there are no fathers to the goyim. Ki heim am hadoime lechamor. They're a nation. They're like a donkey, lechamor. The goyim are compared to donkeys. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says donkeys. Kamay shomer beisenuzal. Kol ha'ilada shelahem hu kamay ha'ilada sabehemus. When a goy gives birth, any goy in the world, even the president of the United States, all these guys, what are they? They're just donkeys. They're donkeys. This is what the Gemara said. They're animals. Why? Shu rak machmas taiva levad b'li shum kedusha klal. How did they come about? How did any of these goyim come about? They came about only because there was a taiva. There was a lust. And because of the lust, only the lust, they came about. They didn't come about because of any kedusha. Avalika avos hischel me Avram. But the main avos starts with Avram. Shahaylis Yitzchak kedusha kazos. That gave birth to Yitzchak with such a high level of kedusha. Until after that, every child that's born is born to Jewish parents, is born a hailoda with kedushas Yisrael. And that's the main yichus. That's our main pride that we have from the Avos. Sheyesh kisha v'chibra v'yichus me'ov leben. And that's what we have from every father to grandfather to great-grandfather and so on, all the way back to Yitzchak Avinu. Sha'av mamshich laben b'chinas kedushas Yisrael l'maydia me'elekusa yizbarach. And we teach over to our children. We talk to them about the elekus. We talk to them about the Rabbeinu Shalom. B'chinas of labanim yodeya el amitecha. The children, the fathers to the children will teach them what the truth is. What is the truth? V'zeo ve'ele voy ma'isiv. What's the vav that's ma'isiv? Bechinas tikkun abris. Shehu, look at these words, look at this. Shehu bechinas Yosef. Yosef. Why is there a vav ma'isiv? Why is there a vav ma'isiv? Ki zeh nimshach hayedei toldos hayedei haylodas hakedaishos shel Yisrael. That comes because of the hayloda. The hayloda, the Jewish births that are born to Klal Yisrael. Zeh bechinas Toldos-Yitzchok ben Avram. Ki kol hayladas shel Yisrael heim bechinas Toldos-Yitzchok. All the hayladas of Klal Yisrael will all go back to Yitzchak Avinu, ben Avraham. And that's why the parsha starts off. Eila Toldos-Yitzchok ben Avraham. Shehu haylada rishayna shenoilad b'kedushas Yisrael. Shehaylidoi Avram b'kedusha kazais. Avram Avinu was able to give birth to Yitzchak Avinu with such a level of kedusha. That's where that chain, that's where that chut, that's where that strand came of the three avos. The three Avos came from there. Avram Yitzchak, Haylides Yitzchak, Hainu Elodes Yitzchak, Hayam Avram Levad, Shu Bechinas Kedushas Abris, Ki Avram Bechinas Tikkun Abris, because Avram Avinu was the first one that was Misaki in the bris. Avram Avinu was the first one that lived his life in the way of Kiddushin. He lived his life in that way with Yitzchak, with Sari Meinu, Bechinas Eiver Mei Hashem. Because look at these words, look at what the Zayah says. Look at this one, it says on Daf Gimel Amid Beis, and Rashi brings because they were the scoffers of the generation. And what were they saying? Oh, remember Avimelech took Sarah Imenu for the night, right? She stayed, that whole story, remember? So the world was saying, hey, listen, she lived with Avram Avinu all these years, and she didn't have a child. Now she spent the night by Avimelech, so obviously he was the father. Because they didn't believe it was even possible. There was a possibility that there could be a lot of Bechinas Avram, Bechinas Aver Ma'ashem. Ma'ashem, that's what it means. Avram, Aver Ma'ashem. Sheyia Oz Bechinas Ma. Ma is the Gematria 45. Bechinas Bittel. That's Bittel. Like Moshe Rabbeinu said, Ma Hashem, Ma Noichi, right? Moshe Rabbeinu said, what am I? I'm nothing. Right? Bechinas Bittel. Bittel, just the one that nullified themselves to the Rebbeinu Shalom. V'loi yischaven b'shvil taivosai klal. And he didn't have any idea that he was with his wife at all for any reason of taiva, of lust. K'may she'ayu tzadikim amitim she'yisparu bazeh. Rakeim oimer me'avimelech. Oh, look at this. May Avimelech. Only those guys would say from Avimelech, Shu Bechinas Malchus Harishah. Shehu Rak Koruch Acha Taiva Gashmias. Because they just, after lurking after only Gashmias. Taiva Gashmias, Abra Sarah Shaimim, Haleitzanim, Sheika Elodahu Rak Mea Taiva Gashmias. Because they said, like he brought the Gemara before, that by a guy, what is it? It's only a Taiva Gashmias. Bechinas Avimelech, the same thing of Avimelech. Who is Avimelech? Al Kain Heyed HaKosav, and therefore the Torah testifies. The Torah is testifying. Heyed HaKosav, Avraham Hoyelides Yitzchak. The Torah says no. The Torah, you could make fun, you could do what you want, but the Torah says Avraham. 1 second again, sorry. Sorry, they're doing work in the building. I'm sorry, guys. Sheikahu ladas Yitzchak, that the Ikka Haylada of Yitzchak Haya Rak mi Bechinas no, Bechol Hayladas. I lost the Shalshelas Kedushas Yisrael Bechol Hayladas Yisrael. Aleitzani Kedushas Ha'avos. Nitzaitzi Kedushas Ha'avos. Hayadeze Naldim Bechol Dar Zera Yisrael Shebakdishim Shemay Yisbarach. And that's what now. So that's what the Rebbe was saying before. When we go to a chasna, and we're so happy about the unity, what are we happy about? We're happy that through this chasna, through the Eidei Kedushin, through the chuppah and the Kedushin, the way it's done, that's done the Kedusha, through the mitzvahs that the chassan and kala perform, through the mitzvahs, right? Through the mikvah, through the Kedusha. We're happy that's through that in Hashem there'll be children that are born to Klal Yisrael. Yeah, look at that. Nolden b'chol dar zeri yisrael shemakdishim shemay yisbarach tamid, that will bring sanctity to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name regularly. Ad shenolden tzadikim gedolim, until there be great tzadikim v'neiroim b'chol dar shekula misaktim tikkun abris. All the tzadikim are working on tikkun abris. They're working what they see, they're working what they hear, they're working what they say, they work what they eat, and so on. Until the end, where Mashiach is going to come from Kalal Yisrael, Mizera Yisrael. Sheyadabik is atzmai ba'Hashem Yisbarach. They'll connect themselves so much to the Rebbeinu Shem Kamei. Sheyadabik v'yigala likusei la'ein kol v'yatakin hakol b'mheira v'yameinu. Amen. This is what we're really waiting for. We're waiting for Mashiach Tzidkenu to come, and this Mashiach Tzidkenu will bring this tikkun that we're waiting for so many years. But just hang on a little bit, little longer, just a little longer. You know, like we said before, from the Rebbe, the Heilige Rebbe Ramelech Milizhensk, the holy Noam Elimelech would always say, one second. He would always. Wow. He would always say at Shalosh Shuddis. What would he always say by Shalosh Shuddis? He would remind the Hasidim that what? That there's the Chevel of Emunah, there's the rope of Emunah. And all from Yidden today, we're hanging on to the rope of Emunah. We hang on to that rope of Emunah. We're hanging on tight. We're Mamin B'Hashem. But he said at the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, on top, on Shemayim, is going to give the rope a little bit of jolt. He's going to shake the rope a little bit. You know, when it's a long rope and you shake it on top, there's a lot of reverberations on the bottom. And he said that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to shake it a little bit. And then those that aren't such strong Maminim, they'll fall off. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to see who's real Maminim, who are the true believers in Him. And then Hashem's going to shake it a little bit more. And then others will fall off. But only those that are true Maminim and Abba Hashem, and they remember the concept, they remember that Kol Ma David Rachman L'Tav Ovid. Everything Hashem does, He does for our ultimate good. And they see the Rebbeinu Shalom in everything in their life. Those people, said the Noam Elimelech, will be the ones that are zayed to greet Mashiach Tzidkenu. So I thought that was an interesting idea. Does anyone have any comments, any questions? Any comments or questions, Chevra? No? Okay, good.